just pipes and needles. My DNA faded, so your dope don't really phase us. Don't know how else I could phrase it. Environment been more fingers.
Well, first, thank you for coming.
Of course.
How has the pandemic been for you so far?
All I do is make music anyway. So, I mean, less parties, less going out, you know what I'm saying? But I don't really go out like that anyway. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's for, you know, a show. Somebody invite me to a show. Somebody invite me. I'm not the type to go out and party. I be with the guys, you know what I'm saying? He off camera. I be with the people. I be with TFTI, all of them. So it hasn't been super different outside of I plan on doing hella shows. I just put out the album and the shit didn't work out. Shit's so deep, like shit really, people dying. Shit, so it's, I mean, if you really want to know how the pandemic is affecting me, like that shit crazy as fuck. You know?
So, do you remember your first interview with Lyrical Eminent?
Yeah, I do, vividly. It's not on the page no more.
I'm from Chicago. I stay in the South
I
Side.
lied all through this interview. Actually, I manifested so much in this interview. There's two ways to look at it.
4 different high schools: Marian Catholic, Hales Franciscan, Thornwood, and De La Salle. And I still dropped out when I was 16.
Yeah, I'm alright.
So that's more than any rap achievement. But
I'm grabbing blue armors.
that takes heart.
I've heard rumors about some good life or good music stuff. What can you tell me about that?
Good music like Kanye West.
Hey, so wait, pause it. So that part of the interview is something that people used to. So one of my best friends' dad is DJ Ferris, and she sent me a text or a screenshot of a text from DJ Ferris saying, I just played one of Kembe songs for Kanye. And I posted that on Instagram, like when I first got Instagram. You feel me? So like, cause this is, what this like 2013?
June 2013.
Yeah. So, and I had posted that on Instagram in like November 2012. So that was a question that people always ask me. Like, oh, I heard something about good music. And it's like, I got to the point, and I did enough interviews with Chance, where he would just like, he would just troll, like he would just say like random shit. You feel me? So like when I got asked that, I was like, I'm gonna just say some random shit. You feel me? And that's why I started playing like how I did in this interview, cause that question got asked so many times, and it wasn't no good music, no talks about nothing. It was just one screenshot I had posted on Instagram a long time ago, and I had been getting that question so many times. So I just started fucking around. You know
That is awesome. That's
Keep playing that shit though.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had this whole legal dispute when I finished Soundtrack to Armageddon because he was trying to reproduce it and make it Cruel Spring.
Cruel Spring?
And I thought it was going to be a cool way to bring me out as an artist, I guess, but I just wasn't feeling it. The numbers weren't right. So and we kind of fell out. And I haven't really good fun with it.
Alright. What can we expect to see from Kembe X?
Well,
I heard
Village EP, and my third EP that's probably gonna come out at the end of the year. We're thinking about making a double album, me and Alex is gonna executive produce it. We're just gonna go all the way, you know. A couple, like 3 or 4.
It's crazy. I had a full blown beard.
Take it beyond Chicago now. You know, we've kind of been doing this, for a year.
So have you been working with any other artists like outside
I had
of
on that big ass fake lion chain. I don't know why I did that.
So I'll show you the text. We just talking about doing an album.
I had not.
And,
I did text Absol, but we did not talk about doing an album. I was just trolling. But also, this is before I had a song with Absol.
Yeah.
Like this is before Zay got signed to TDE. This is before any of that shit. It's like I'm just saying this stuff.
Yeah.
You feel me? Or this might have been right after I found out Zay got signed to TDE.
True.
So like I'm just like kind of like I was just playing because also I just did the show secretly. Also I just found out my ex-girlfriend had just fucked somebody in a car.
Damn.
Like
So you going through it right here? Is what you're
I'm not really like, but like I was like in a space where I was just like you know what I mean? I ain't seen this because it's not on the page no more.
No, it's not.
I'm trying to set up.
This is like the first video that was on the page.
This is old. your journey?
That's kind of already in the works too. So I'm pretty excited. I'm really excited.
All right, could you tell us one of your dopest experiences as a rapper so far? Because I heard about that when you were with Kendrick Lamar.
The Kendrick shit was cool. I think. Okay, man. I don't know. See, there's been a lot. I met Earl. I met Pharrell the same day, random as hell.
What is that? I was lucky wondering that when I watched it.
I wonder if I was making that up. I might just make that up. Did I mean? Because I have met Earl multiple times, like very randomly. I mean, Earl and Pharrell. I don't know. I don't even know if that's true.
It's the best because there's a lot of good ones. I think meeting Nas, I probably have to go with meeting Nas.
I did meet Nas. That's why I don't think I was lying, because I did. Oh, 2013 South by Southwest. I met Earl and I met Pharrell, and that was also when I first met Musa.
Mm-hmm.
I was with Chance, so it was me, Chance, and Script, and we was just going around South by Southwest, and we was just like, after Chance had did a show with, I think, Action Bronson had brought me, Chance, Wretch, and Dash on stage. Before I didn't know nothing about Wretch and Dash at the time. He brought us all out to rap, and I think it was what's it? It's not Massive. It's Mass Appeal.
Genius.
And then no, so I fucked with Rap Genius. That's a whole separate thing. But I met Pharrell like for a split second. He walked into the TDE green room, which I was sitting there. I might as well have been a fly on the wall. I wasn't saying shit. And then I must have met. I know I met Earl that night. I know what I'm talking about. But I don't vividly remember it though.
Kind of fucked myself over because that's one of my questions. Can you talk about the time that you met Nas?
So this is the first South by Southwest I went to. So when me and Alex Wiley made the Can I Borrow $1 EP, it's because we wanted to go to South by Southwest, and we wanted to raise money. So we selling them. We selling shirts. We selling all kind of shit. And my dad drove us all the way down to Texas. Me, Wiley, he drove us all the way down to Texas. And shout out to my dad. And Rap Genius had interviewed me because it was a blogger named Big Ghost who now produces for fucking like Griselda. But at the time he was a blogger that just talked like he was Ghostface. He typed like he was Ghostface Killer and shit. And fucking when Rap Genius interviewed him, they was like, do you have any recommendations? And he recommended me. So then they interviewed me. And then when South by happened, I rode my first Uber at South by because they sent me in an Uber to meet Nas at a hotel room randomly, like, because they did the first like Rap Genius like video interview with Nas, and I was in the room. You feel me? I was nervous as fuck. And they also told me about Spotify. They told me that Spotify was about to be the biggest thing, and like I didn't know shit about Uber or Spotify. You feel me? And these are like the founders of Rap Genius. I don't even know if they're still involved with Genius. So this is like the inception of Rap Genius, when it was called Rap Genius.
What did you and Nas talk about?
Nothing. I was so Nas was asking me questions. They played him the fucking $, Please video, and I'm like, you know, like we was trolling on that song. Well, like, I had just made Self Rule, and I'm talking about all this. You know, like that's my serious work, and then $, Please is like me and Alex just making fun music. And he's like, who are you signed to? Who do you work with? I'm like, I'm managed by my nigga Genesis. I'm not signed to nobody, you know. And I was nervous as fuck because I'm sitting in a room with Nas. I don't even think I was 18 yet. I'm 17 years old, sitting in a room with one of my favorite rappers ever. And you feel me? Like if I was in that room now with the way that I speak now, I would have said I would have made more out of that opportunity.
You said Nas was one of your favorite artists ever. Who were some of your musical influences growing up?
It's clichély Kanye West, Kid Cudi, and a lot of fucking popular like rock, like Fall Out Boy, Blink 182, fucking Papa Roach. I used to listen to hella Papa Roach. Binge is my favorite Papa Roach song. I still get really emo when I listen to Binge by Papa Roach. Linkin Park, Green Day. And then I was listening to a lot of MF Doom. I was listening to a lot of Outkast. I was listening to a lot of old Jay-Z. I was listening to I was listening to Flocka, but like when I first started rapping, I wasn't initially inspired by the trap shit. That wasn't until I didn't start getting inspired by trap shit until I was like 19, 20. So really it was like the golden era of hip hop, and then rock music. Cause I started off playing guitar, so I wanted to be in a band, but I didn't know nobody that wanted to be in a band. I didn't know nobody that played instruments or even listened to rock music, so I had to end up rapping.
At what point did you start making music yourself?
When I was 15. So like I said, I was playing my freshman year of high school when I transferred from the first school to the second school. I transferred from Marion to Hales. I got a guitar for Christmas. I taught myself how to play guitar a little bit, and I would write songs. Then I wanted to be in a band. Nobody wanted to be in a band, but I was still writing, and I was just writing. And then my friends at the third high school I went to, Thornwood, it was people I knew. They weren't really my friends yet. Now they my homies, but they was rapping, and I wanted to rap. You know, I was like, I wanted to record. I wanted to make music because I was making music at home by myself, secretly, low-key. Like nobody knew that's what I was doing in my free time. So, this is like when I was 15, like summer 2010. It's when I recorded my first song with my homie Jordan Terpstra. Shout out Jordan Terpstra. I don't know where he's at. I haven't spoken to him in so long, but that's when I started recording. My nigga Roper. He makes the brand Richeza. He was like, what do you be doing? I was like, I rap. He was like, are you raw? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, if you really raw, my cousin got a little studio in the west suburbs, and we can go. And that's when I started recording like every weekend. I would go to his cousin's house, Justin Famous. Shout out Justin Famous. And that's when I really started like rapping. Shout out my nigga Roper, and also shout out Richeza because he going crazy.
So last year you dropped that project, I Was Pressed Until I Made This. How long were you working on that tape before it came out?
The oldest song on that project is Anyway, the intro. And I made that in like September 2017. And then I made Lim, them the two oldest songs. So it started September 2017. But I was making, that was around the time when I started making hella music. Because at first I used to just kind of only make music when I was inspired. But then I started trying to like push myself to just really get better and better, and also just like get to it and make some shit happen. You feel me? So I started making more music. And that's where I was doing that since 2016. But I built the momentum up, and the first songs was Anyways and Lim.
It's been just over a year since the release of that project. Looking back, what does that body of work mean to you?
It means everything. So my first project did so well. Self-Rule, it did a lot for me. It got me a lot of buzz. It got me in that Rap Genius situation. Like, it put me in a lot of rooms. But that was like my first shit. Like, I was just rapping for my friends, really. I wasn't thinking that this shit was finna go nowhere. So I didn't have a vision for myself. I was depressed the first time. I really had I have a full-blown vision for myself and what I'm doing. So it's not even just the songs or the art direction or the everything that's come after it. It's like everything about it. It's everything. You know what I'm saying? That's the first time that I really decided that like I know what I'm doing. I know the message I'm trying to get across. I know the type of music I want to make. You know, I know what I'm trying to do with this shit. And I felt like I did it. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't even have this time for the interview, but I was curious. Who made that cover?
Noah Farrar. Shout out Noah Farrar. I think his social media handles are The Way Love Works. But his name's Noah Farrar.
So that song Voices performed like very well since its release. How did it feel to see that song kind of take off?
It was kind of weird because we knew when I made that song, that's when we knew that's when I knew I was in my bag, but that's when everybody around me was confirming that, like, and I mean humbly, I'm in my bag, but like, that was when it was like, oh shit, like he doing some like whole other shit. You know, I was at the same time, I don't know, you know, how many people know about Iman Omari, but it's fire ass producer, artist. I was making an EP with him at the same time. So I was making a whole lot of music, and this was the first day I met my producer, who's now my roommate, Wolf. And just like that was the first time I made a song like that where I did like a reference. It was like just kind of mumbling and then like wrote in a song. And I feel like that's one of the most meaningful songs I ever wrote, because it's like really about a part of my life. Like that whole album is about a part of life that I went through, like deep depression, you know, like dark mental spaces, schizophrenic episodes, you know what I'm saying? That's why I stopped smoking weed, like all that shit I was going through. And but like it's my biggest song I ever put out, but it's kind of weird because we knew that was going to be the biggest song. You know what I'm saying?
So like in your early days, you and Wiley were like always super close.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys first meet?
We met through my homie Wes Freeman. A dude I went to Hales Franciscan with. And Alex was trying to start a clothing line called Vive la Resistance. And I draw like where I used to draw a lot. And he, like we was talking, he was like, can you draw? I'm like, yeah. He's like, draw my logo. So I drew the logo. It was like this army hat that he wanted to be the logo and shit. And we didn't really like, we just ended up kicking it from there. Like that didn't really, Alex is a nigga full of ideas. Like Alex has so many ideas. He's doing so many things. I literally just, this nigga got like, this nigga's doing a lot of like big shit, like beyond. I mean, we tweeted about it, so I guess I could talk about it. He got a TV show. He's making a TV show right now. And I just sent him my vocals, like voiceover vocals for it yesterday. So he always been like a big ball of creativity, you feel me? But he didn't rap. I rapped. And then we just used to kick it all the time. He was one of the first people I told that I rapped. And I rapped to him, and he was like, that's tight. And I felt like, oh, damn, like, I'm tight. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but can you explain, like, what The Village was?
So, The Village was my first attempt at a collective. And it was just the people that was around me. That was really all, we was all, like, focused on something. So it was me, it was Alex, John Doe, Monster Mike, and eventually Isaiah Rashad. We was like it was something, it was my, like I said, it was my first attempt. So we was attempting to be a collective while I was still not sure of my direction, you know what I'm saying? But we was all like just close friends. We sent each other our music, we critiqued each other, we gave each other ideas, we went back and forth. It was mainly me, Alex, and Mike, and then John Doe, and then Zay. Once I got cool with Zay, you know, he was down with one of the first songs that he put out that got on the blog. He shouted out The Village, like, so it's a weird thing to think about. It's not something. It's something that I kind of, that shit's tattooed on me. You know what I'm saying? The Village. Like my nigga Rob Ochoa did this logo, and like, you know, we still all close, but you know, it didn't pan out. It didn't pan out how we planned out. You know what I'm saying?
So a few days ago, you dropped that song with Absol and Ice Cold Bishop. Can you talk about how that record came about?
Oh yeah. So Ice Cold Bishop is one of the rawest rappers alive, and I had met him randomly in like 2018 in one of my studio sessions. He started playing his music, and he played like fucking 15 songs. And I know a rapper is fired when I listen to their shit, and it started making me like anxious, cause it's like, damn, like this shit, like, you know, like I gotta, whatever I make next gotta be crazy. You feel me? And probably like 2 or 3 weeks later, around that time, Soul was just calling me up to his sessions just to pull up and just be there, okay, like just talk. We'd talk. I get on, like I laid hooks, I rapped. Daylight would be in there. We would really be in there just talking and drinking and kicking it. Soul would make a few songs, you know. Soul, I don't know if you know, Soul would just sit down with his eyes closed, come up with his bars, go in the booth, rap, make the song. But a lot of the sessions would just be us talking about like the state of music and like, you know, like how rap had evolved and shit. And this particular day, Musa, my manager, was like, hey, bring Bishop to the studio when you go up there with Soul. So I brought Bishop, and me and him is both in there kind of geek, because this was the first time I went in there like knowing that I was going to try to record something, especially because Bishop was in there. I knew he was going to try to record something. So we was like sitting next to each other, literally writing like the first few bars of our verses on paper while the beat was up, because we knew Soul was in the corner writing. And I'm sitting there writing my verse, I'm looking at what we spitting our shit to each other. I'm like, man, I gotta kill this nigga, you know what I'm saying? He looking at me like that. He was same type of shit. And yeah, the song happened. It's one of those things, you know, when you do this shit, you make so much music. I didn't think that song was gonna ever come out, you know, so it's amazing that shit dropped, for real. But yeah, that was like some shit that would go in the movie, you know, like this Bishop, this random dude I met, raw as fuck, pull up to an Ab Soul session, who like we all, like real rappers all look up to Ab Soul, like niggas that really rap look up to Ab Soul, and we in there like competing with him, like, you know what I'm saying, like creating with him, but like really trying to like, you know what I'm saying, like how do I make sure my verse is the rawest verse on this song, you know.
Where's, just out of curiosity, where's Bishop from?
Bishop is from LA.
Alright, so there's this like legendary video of you, Chance, Wiley, Lucky, all like downtown freestyling like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm so curious as to like what was going on.
Yo, you know who filmed this video?
No.
Bro, Paul, you put him in a coffin. Remember, put him in a coffin. And he was like, Von Maur.
What?
He filmed this video, bro. Like, this is some legendary Chicago shit, bro. Like, niggas don't even, like, know the half, for real. But this is outside of the Lyricist Loft, the Harold Washington Library, where we used to go there, and they would have, like, poetry events, open mic events, and then they had studios in there we could record. I recorded some of my first few songs in there. And we would all just go there. I think it was either Wednesdays or Thursdays. And yeah, every Wednesday, and we would all be there every Wednesday. And this day, bro just put out the camera, was like, hey, we finna do a cypher. And we just kind of did it on some random shit, you feel me? I just rapped a random verse that I had just written. That's why in the video, Wiley like telling me which verse to rap. He was like, you said, and I just rapped that shit. You know, this is my odd future phase, and I'm just saying wild ass, reckless shit.
I've seen this so many times, and I've just wondered, like, was this planned? Like, how did this come about?
No, it was completely
wild
random.
Looking at it 10 years later.
It's completely random.
Seeing like a 15-year-old Lucky.
Yeah, look right, bro.
Guess who brought it with him? Got some niggas and some bitches and my dogs with me, sick 'em. It's I, your all around above average assassin, grabbing ass and taking action.
We don't use that word anymore.
Hellgate Express, all hail are prepared to meet the stairway to death. It's the spit of Hitler, quick to slit the airway of fair play, cause this is what life isn't. Me winning is a given. Just listen, I trash broads, any bitch that asks for it, then solicited to any nigga paying cash for it. Then pitch your sister, she do tricks for half off, take a split and light this shit, bitch, it's time to blast off.
I have been nice. He was, I can't remember, bro, now he's raw too. Like,
I've wondered like who some of these other people are.
And the Stacy ass.
Is it?
He know his ass rap.
Bro, this Lucky verse is.
He said, walking through an aisle of bullies, bet I don't trip.
I'm exact, y'all estimated. I'ma go on and watch the hatred fill up like you constipated. Observation is irritated, so my agitation is perpetrated, so all you rogues get exterminated. Your family's congregated. Is this the proper way to express my feelings? I think I'm healing the pain inside. I tame you lines. Give me a chair and a whip. A nerd walking down the aisle of bullies, better don't trip. Name them, I'm better than them. Dictatorship, fuck all elections. Kobe Bryant couldn't match my perfection. Make a connection like Michael Jackson to a priest. While I'm on these beats, a philosopher could think how I think. I get violently active,
Make
so
the
when you
connection
rap,
like
they claim they
Michael
got
Jackson
me.
to a
Cause
priest.
I'm the rock after that,
That's
the whole
absurd.
bunch.
I didn't even think you said that. You said make a connection like Michael Jackson to a priest. Whoa! Whoa!
Open-ended, fuck.
Huh?
That's too open-ended.
That's like, damn, bro.
Why is he saying that at 15?
Why is he saying that at 15? Why he so ahead of his time? That shit dope. That shit's crazy.
Yeah, I just want to ask about that. I've seen that clip so many times throughout the years, and I always wondered. Like,
So I swear to God, this is a completely random thing that nobody planned. Von Mar was holding the camera, and he was just like walking up to spit a verse. And then we seen each other doing it, and it was like, okay, I'll do one. But we used to all be in there just every Wednesday. Like just, I never even performed it was called the Lyricist Loft. I never even performed, but Chance used to do that shit every Wednesday. I think that's why Chance is so great at performing, because he used to go in there and like perform like it was like 1,000 people in that bitch. You feel me? Like bare his soul in that bitch. I remember it was somebody who Rodney Cowles had passed, and he had wrote a song about him, and we all like knew him in one way or another, and like he performed a song. I think he performed what's his song?
Acid Rain.
No, not Acid Rain. This is 10.
400.
Nah, it was how you got to drive but don't know how to use a stick shift. I can't remember. It's long, bro. He started crying performing that shit, and everybody, like half the people in there was crying when he performed that shit, bro. And this was just every Wednesday. Every Wednesday we would go up there.
Shout out Von Moore, man.
Shout out Von Moore,
Captured a piece of history.
who after this went on to become a Vine star for just doing reckless shit, and he the nigga behind the camera. Like I feel like people don't understand how like I don't think nothing is random, but for all intents and purposes, how randomly legendary like this scene of Chicago is and how influential it is. And also, this is right before Chief Keef blew up. Like this is like
2011.
This is like probably June 20. This is probably like the same time Bang came out, like the song. You feel me?
So I like to ask this question to every Chicago artist I interview. What do you think is missing in Chicago's music community?
I would say community. That's what's missing. It's just community. And I can't say why really, because also Chicago's music community, I feel like on a personal level, there's a lot of community. But just on a music cross-branding, like just like being active in the industry way, it's not a lot of unity or community. But there is, at the same time, a hell of a lot of community. Because we all these people is still like personally close. It's just not, I don't really know. Cause my boy said what's missing is love. Why you say that?
I look at it like I hate to use the example, but the goddamn
Atlanta.
template. Atlanta. We got the same closeness. We got the same community.
Right.
It's just like I think how we raised, it's still that competition aspect in it.
Right.
And like, you need to one up or like this
Be
my
better
man's,
than.
this my man's, but I use him as influence to be better.
Right.
You feel me? So I feel like that shit is conditioned and ingrained in our way of life. And it's subconscious to the point, like you said, like we have this community and capitalize on it.
Cause I'll agree with that. Cause I felt that. And I think anybody watching this from Chicago, especially from this like section of Chicago, like the Chicago music scene, will agree that like it's some kind of tension where it's like, but then you do have moments where it come together. So I won't say it's not there. Cause like I don't remember what the song is called when that Chance did with Lucky.
Stevie Wonder?
Yeah, bro. Like I remember when they did that shit. I remember the whole like the way they documented it and dropped it. Like that was a very special. I was in LA. That was a super special moment for me because that was. It do be that like that competitive tension, because I think it's because we take the craft super serious, and I don't know what the blockage be between just like being around each other and just doing this shit as a tandem, you know what I'm saying? Like do a song with everybody, like how they do in Atlanta. Like niggas be, whole gang be beefing, but the artists gonna do songs with each other because they trying to, you know, and you know it's hard to say because I can't sit here and say Chicago don't have unity because we do, and Chicago has more than unity. Chicago has a lot of like give back to the community aspect to it too. So it's like it's a weird line we told.
And it has a lot of talent too. So it's like not a talent thing. I think it's probably like infrastructure too. I feel like there's not a lot of outlets.
You gotta think too. The oldest person from these scenes is like younger than Young Thug. Like you know what I'm saying? Like 27. The oldest ones. You know what I'm saying? Like or like the same age as, you know what I'm saying? And I say Young Thug because that's like one of my favorite rappers. And like, and you know, in rap, age is something that people like kind of measure themselves by at first. You know, I just stopped measuring myself by age because I realized it's all about activity. Like whatever I get done, whenever I get it done, I got it done, and it worked. It worked and it made sense. So like, it's not like it's case closed for Chicago having that unity. We just gotta decide to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't it weird how like hip hop's the only genre of music where like as you age and get older, like you could be a legend,
right?
Like really did this shit, but as you get older, people like write you off, and you're just like a.
I think that ended though. It's not like that no more.
Recently, my fault too.
Yeah, no, bro, this my bro. I'm the niggas I be with. Like we think together. You feel me? So I know, bro, say you cutting me off and shit, but go ahead.
I think recently that shit has just ended. I want to say for the longest time we always viewed rap as like a young man sport. I mean, if you really think about it, all of the motherfuckers who
Future 37, bro.
Just turned 37, but
Future got the same birthday as my mama, also. So
he been behind the scenes forever too, though.
Yeah,
bro,
facts.
Behind the scenes,
right?
So that's why I say it's no longer matter. Like if we look at all our favorite artists who are not young, they started at the same age.
I'm 26, bro. Kanye put out his first album when he was 26.
Eminem.
Jay-Z put out his first album when he was 26.
Yeah.
You know,
look
so like
Pac, he was like 33 on the double XL.
You know what it is? You know what it is though, bro? It's because rap still is a young man sport in a way because you got kids coming out at 15, 16,
right,
going double, triple platinum,
right,
out of nowhere. Yeah. And like half the game don't even know about them. Like rap nowadays, it's so many people that's so big and you ain't never heard of their name before. You never heard a song by them before, and they be like little kids. So the mindset, I feel like that's also why age is not a thing anymore either. Because now you watching that happen with a lot of young kids, and they here today and gone tomorrow. But then you look at the dude that blew up when he was 25, and now he 35, and he the biggest nigga in the game. You know, so I feel like rap used to be a young man sport, but now it's more so like a cultural responsibility. Like we like like a global cultural responsibility. It's not just like a black culture, hip hop culture. Like we carry the culture of America, the culture of what's cool, the culture of the world, the culture of self-expression. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's also in part to the kids to be blowing up out of nowhere because they just be expressing themselves and be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, technology got a part in that too.
Yeah, it's
like
technology.
Access.
It's the access. Like I was just telling my sister boyfriend, he records songs on his phone, and I told him I guarantee you there's at least 5 songs, maybe more, plus or minus 2, that was recorded on a phone, just like how you did on a phone recording app that got 1 million streams on SoundCloud. At least 5.
More.
You know what I'm saying? More probably, right? But just like that they recorded on their phone. You know what I'm saying? So like things are changing. Like I feel like I'm in a great space because I'm getting into my groove as things are shifting. I feel like things are shifting in a way where like I know how to handle this. Like I think I know what to do with this. You know what I'm saying?
Who are some artists from Chicago that you haven't worked with yet that you want to work with?
All of them. And I say all of them because of what I just said about unity and community, bro. Like I do this, like this music shit, I do this. You know, so like I'm, you know, I love this. You feel me? I know that I go in a studio, I might have some harmonies to contribute. I might have a raw verse, I might have a hook. I might be in there just to like contribute a vibe. Like I want to work with people, like only off the love of the sport and love of the game type shit. You feel me? Here,
Adam. What's your favorite song that you made today?
What, is that even a thing?
But my favorite song I made to date it's a song, Windowsill. I just made a song the other day called, or like a couple weeks ago, called End of the World, that I wrote sitting next to my shorty. I was laying in bed, she was sitting on the couch. It's this handheld mic that I be recording some songs on, and I would just lay in bed and like just sing over while Wolf playing guitar, and I just sing. It's one of the best songs I ever made, and it's like a love song. I'm singing it. Ain't no rapping to it, cause like when I say like this, like love of the game, like love for the art, and just music. Like we all love music. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't tell you my favorite song. I could play you when this interview over. I could play you 40 songs, and you couldn't tell me your favorite one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm down to do that. You have any questions?
Highly recommended.
You're good. Favorite
I
animal?
want to talk all day.
Favorite animal?
Favorite animal? Eagle.
Why?
Because so my imagery for my brand is going to include the eagle heavily, because in the industry right now it's a lot of goats. Everybody the goat. And then like I love Young Thug, obviously, but it's the snakes. You feel me? And then we all, it's rap, it's competitive. We all are the greatest, right? And what I know about eagles, I seen this video on YouTube of an eagle. It's a goat at the top of a mountain, and the eagle swoop down on the goat and stick his talons right in the goat's eyes and carry it off the cliff and drop it, and then swoop down while the goat like bounces down off the mountain, and then start eating the goat. You feel me? And I know eagles eat snakes too. You feel me? So I think eagles just like the ultimate apex predator. I don't know what eats eagles. If you ate an eagle, you really caught him lacking, because he in the air. He's flying. You feel me? Like he's not. Goats climb to the top of mountains. I get goat, and also goat mean greatest of all time. So it's just imagery I'm talking about right now. But you know what I'm saying? Like they're definitely the eagle. It would, if I had to mix two animals, it would be a lion and an eagle. Cause lions, if you see a lion kill something, they'll chase it down. But once they bite that thing, whatever they eating by the neck, they just stand still. Like they not like wrestling with it. They just still. You feel me? Like they not even really trying. You know what I'm saying? So.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself with a building like this that I built with my team. Thanks for the invite. TFTI consists of Gate City. That's why I say Village is my first attempt, because I always looked up to Our Future. So like I model a lot of things that I want to do after Our Future, and I always wanted to do things with a group of people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like 5 years, owning a home. I want a family. Like one of the things that makes me cry when I think about it is like all it would take for me, everything that I would have to do right, and the type of person I would have to be to like have a solid like family unit, household type shit. And then also at the same time, I'm gonna be in movies. I'll be producing movies, producing TV shows. I've already started producing a TV show. TFTI has started producing a TV show. And rapping. I think in 5 years, I'm gonna be 31. I'm gonna be dropping either be dropping the best music of my life, or I'm going to be coming off of having just dropped the best music ever, and I'm going to be transitioning into my super, super, super entrepreneurial phase as an artist. Because I think, like I say, in this shit, it's like it's a cultural responsibility, so it's not just about making good music, it's not just about having bars, it's not just about making catchy songs, it's about like really moving the culture and improving the culture, and for me at least represent something and seeing how like I want the world that my kids live in, how I want it to be. So architecting, something like that. Adam.